Am I the asshole for still wearing my ex's ring while having a boyfriend? Edit. Thank you so much for everyone who took the time to comment and give their opinion, I truly appreciate it. My boyfriend returned home with a big bouquet of flowers and was crying, asking to be forgiven for his reaction. I told him I was sorry for not having been more understanding of his feelings and not having been as calm as I wish I would have been. We both hugged and cried for like an hour and talked about this whole situation. Thing is, we're both doctors, so I bet the work stress has gotten to us lately. Anyway, thank you for all the support. So I, 28F, have a bunch of rings I like to wear daily. Yesterday my significant other, 30M, and I woke up late for work, so we were rushing to get ready and Eve. On our way to work I noticed that one of my rings was missing and I started looking around my seat hoping it had just fallen off as I got in but wasn't there. I started to panic thinking I had lost it for good. Significant other tried to calm me down saying that it's fine and he'd buy me the same ring if I wanted. I told him that the ring holds sentimental value to me. He asked me to elaborate, so I told him this was a ring my ex gave me. For context, I was with my ex back in uni. That year he left the country to visit his parents, and before he left he gave me a ring promising that when he got back he'd bring me his nana's wedding ring and propose with their blessing. Unfortunately he never came back as he tragically died drowning while on a rafting trip. I was devastated for months. The ring was the last thing he had gifted me and even after years I feel very attached to it. It's just something I keep around to remember him by. I've tried to stop wearing it, but it felt like so wrong. I don't wear my ring on my left hand, so I didn't think it was a problem, but he got really upset with me saying he feels disrespected that I wear the ring another man gave with the intention of marrying me and asked for me to never wear that ring when he's around. When I got back home after work I found the ring on my dresser. I had probably missed it as I rushed to get dressed. I felt relieved. I took off all my jewelry and went to have a shower. When I returned to the room, significant other was lying in bed. I went to my dresser to grab some PJs and noticed that the ring was missing. I asked him if he took it and he told me I shouldn't worry about it since I wasn't going to wear it anyways. I demanded he returned the ring and that I understood why he'd get upset by seeing me wear that ring daily but didn't see a problem with just keeping it in a jewelry box. He said I wouldn't need a ring that I'd never get to wear anyways. I got a little frustrated because I was trying to compromise with him, but he was being unreasonable, and as I'm a grown woman he had no right to tell me what I can and cannot keep. This really upset him and he left our house in tears yelling, "Have it your way then." He hasn't returned any of my texts, calls, and now I feel horrible. I want to note that my boyfriend is not the type to initiate big fights that end on either one of us walking out. We always sit down and talk about what bothers us about one another and what we can do to solve it. This is the first time in years that he has raised his voice at me, so I know I must have really hurt him and wonder how I could have handled the situation better. I never want to see him hurting but also don't have the heart to get rid of the ring. Am I being unreasonable? Sad face. Help. Not the asshole. He is insecure of the relationship that you had with your previous partner. I'm sorry that happened to you. It must have been difficult to lose a partner like that. I understand your so's objection to wearing the ring in person, but I still think it's his problem to come to terms with. He has no place in telling you what sentimental items you get to keep or not, but if he communicates how much it bothers him, you have a decision to make with balancing your fondness of the ring with his feelings. Not the asshole. Your partner shouldn't be hiding your possessions from you. But I understand why he's uncomfortable with you wearing the ring every day. Are you seeing a therapist? It doesn't seem like you've really moved on. Edit. Change judgment. Not the asshole. Do you really want to be with a guy who is this threatened by a man who isn't even alive anymore? All the people that we have ever loved, and all the people that we have lost, make us the people that we are today. This ex that you lost has made you the person that he has fallen in love with. Having said that, being jealous of a ghost is deeply immature behavior. Stealing your ring is deeply immature behavior. He saw how panicked and distressed you were when you thought you'd lost it, and then decided to put you back in that exact situation again deliberately. That's worrying. You haven't done anything wrong, you are not the asshole, but I would hide that ring if I were you, before he makes it disappear permanently. And of course the obligatory question: why would you stay with someone you can't trust not to steal your precious sentimental jewelry? He stole the ring. There's no excuse and he's the asshole for that. You told your boyfriend about your past, but you didn't tell him that the ring you wear daily is your engagement ring with your deceased boyfriend. Because you knew it was wrong too. You were comforting yourself by saying it wasn't on your left hand. That's why you're ta. If I were your BF, I would have ended the relationship right away. Because I would feel like second choice and I wouldn't want to be in a competition with a ghost. Your partner deserves to be the first choice too. He told me I shouldn't worry about it since I wasn't going to wear it anyways. He stole the ring. This is a major red flag, it's extreme controlling behavior. Look, I get it. Dealing with a partner who has a previous partner who died is tough. I have been where you are, and understand that future partners have to deal with an ex that isn't really an ex, but a partner who died, and we'd give anything to have them not have died. It's a really hard place for a partner to be. So he's allowed to be upset and insecure or jealous. But he's not allowed to steal from you or control you. That is a hard line. Not the asshole. Nah. I could not imagine parting with that jewelry. I can understand why your boyfriend may feel uncomfortable about it, but this is probably something to be discussed in therapy or with a mediator, not on AITA. This needs to be in our relationships. You need advice, not judgment. Am I the asshole for defending my mom's Facebook post? I, 21F, have two good friends, A, 21F, and B, 20F. We have all been friends since 8th grade. A bit of background: I lived in Nashville. On March 3, 2020, my home was hit by a large tornado. We were upstairs asleep and we barely got out. We lost almost everything. I almost lost my life and my family. Now on to the friendships and where I might be ta. B and I have never had an issue with opinions or arguments, but A will argue her point forever. I am liberal like she is, but I have some more conservative views on certain things: military, spending, abortion. We have argued a lot about these issues and she always has to be right and no one else can have an opinion, let alone a differing one. This has annoyed me. Important for later. Another point to make is that in high school, we all took a hard class. They always asked for notes and homework answers, but would never give me any. I started thinking they were only friends with me because I was giving them notes and answers. During senior year, we decided we wanted to go to homecoming. I told them I was thinking of getting a maroon dress because I loved the color. Well, A had the same idea and decided she wanted to wear a red dress too. She told me I couldn't wear a red dress because it would look trashy to have two people wearing the same color. We argued for days until I finally caved and got a navy color dress that my mom paid hundreds for just to ease the tension. All of these things have piled up over the years and I am fed up. Me, A, and B went out to dinner on Monday since we had not seen each other in a long time. I am moving to Florida next month and we were talking about it. They made a comment that, since I got hit by a tornado, I'll likely get hit by a hurricane too, and B made a swirly motion and laughed. I laughed along but I was really hurt by it. I got home and texted my mom about it. She has never liked A or B. My mom went on Facebook and posted a PSA about friendship, saying friends stand with you and they don't joke about your trauma. My mom said they had mean girl mentality as well. A's mom saw it and showed it to her. I woke up to a text the next day from A asking if it was about her and B. I told her it was. She responded that I should have talked to them first and tried to understand before talking bad to my mom. I told her I was very hurt by what was said and they shouldn't joke about it, and I didn't really see how it was talking bad when I was just telling the truth. She said it was fine to joke about it because I have too. We went back and forth for a bit before I said that I feel like they've only been friends with me because I was the one that gave them notes and homework answers in high school, and that I have always felt that way. I also told her I feel like she always has to be right, and can never let anyone else have a differing opinion. This was on Wednesday and she and B have not spoken to me since then. Am I the asshole? Edit. A thinks it is okay to joke about the tornado because I have joked about it in the past too. Everyone sucks here but mostly your mum for taking your private rant and posting it all over social media. Wow. Who even does that? That was so far out of line, I hope she deleted it. And #X200B. But as an aside don't ever laugh off a joke that hurts you. It'll give those people carte blanche to do it again, testing your boundaries. Don't be afraid to respond with, I find that quite hurtful, please don't joke about it again. And #X200B. Enjoy Florida. I hope you find better friends there. Need more info. What does your viewpoint on abortion have to do with any of this? If you don't trust these girls or feel comfortable hanging out with them, stop. It's that easy. NTA. I don't think you should be friends with them. Not the asshole, obviously. A is a controlling bitch and can't handle being wrong or looking bad. Dump her ass cause she is not your friend. A is a shark and B sounds like a ebertee that feeds off the shark. True friends would never joke about a touchy subject such as you nearly losing your life and your family losing almost everything in a tornado. Your mom shouldn't have posted it. Info. You mentioned they brought up that you have joked about it too. Have you? Do they understand how traumatic it was for you, or did you downplay it? I understand this is a fairly dumb question because obviously living through a tornado would be horrifying and traumatic, but sometimes people make light of situations and others don't understand. Of course you are the asshole for having an argument on or about Facebook. Lol. Honestly, this is the most whiny post I've ever read on here. That will mean nothing. You A and B will not be friends in 5 years or even 1 year. Nothing here matters, and your mom should stay off Facebook. Lol. Am I the asshole for telling my son he won't get punished by me if he skips detention? My son is 16 and goes to an all-boys school. Last year, they had a new principal take over and it turned the school upside down. The school set new rules on piercings, tattoos, shoes and dyed hair, which really upset my son. He didn't have to take out any under the mask piercings but had to take out all of the ones on his ears, and the school are still complaining about his ears, stretched to 15 malum. Looks horrible with no plugs in. He also wasn't allowed to take off his jumper, even in June, because he has a large visible half sleeve on his arm, and they weren't giving out about the tattoo itself, just the fact it's colored. Tattoo was done for his 16th birthday. It's a piece for his granddad who helped me raise him, and he had to dye his hair from green to bleach blonde, which has him really upset. This year they've set a new uniform. It changed the jumper, shirts, and they've added a school jacket so students can't wear their own, and even a PE uniform. The new uniform is extremely expensive and I cannot afford to get it. They only informed us about this in July and other parents are in the same boat. I told the school this, and I can't even give my daughter the uniform as she's in an all-girls school. The school said I need to get the new uniform by September and all this year's add-ons. I said again, that I can't afford it and that last year's one will just have to do. It's his final year of secondary on top of all of that. I said either they can provide the uniform or they can be quiet about him wearing the old one. The principal told me that if GE doesn't have the new uniform, there'll be letters sent home constantly. My son will be given detention, and if he doesn't attend his detentions he'll be suspended. After this call, I told my son that he doesn't have to go to the detentions, and any suspensions he's given I won't punish him for because it's not his fault I can't provide him with the new uniform given under 2 months' notice about the change. My daughter overheard all this, and got really mad at me for telling him he can do that because when she got suspended for calling a teacher a cunt last year, I took her to work with me and had her clean the kitchen as a punishment. She thinks I'm the asshole here for telling him I won't punish him. Am I the asshole? To avoid typing this out for the millionth time. I was working in a job that paid me more than double the one I'm in now when my son got his tattoo. I'm on half my normal wage with still bills to pay, children to feed and normal monthly expenses. I cannot drop €400 on a new uniform that will only be used a year. I can't afford or justify not eating to be able to afford it. Circumstances have changed drastically and being out of work for months with bills and other expenses. What age can I get a body piercing or tattoo? No legal minimum age. Edit 3. These are public schools, people. Not everywhere is America. Not the asshole. And whoa, your daughter. Surely she can see the difference here and just doesn't want to admit it? Are you in the UK? Schools there seem to be obsessed with uniforms and the costs are outrageous. My kids wore uniforms in the US, but they were only a small percentage over the cost of regular clothes, and when they changed the uniforms there was a 2-year period where you could wear either the new or the old so you could save up, still make use of old pieces. Not the asshole at all. Your daughter got punished for misbehaving. Your son in this situation would be punished for your lack of wealth. Not the asshole. Your son is literally not doing anything wrong. Not the asshole. Your daughter was rightfully punished for her own actions, a suspension that she could have prevented. Your son is going to get suspended of some archaic rule that isn't his fault. When your daughter is in a receptive place, try explaining it to her. School is totally the asshole here. Not the asshole. Your daughter's situation was completely different from your son's. She was rude and used an offensive word, whereas your son is being punished for his parents not earning enough, basically. As for the problem with uniform, the only solution would be to form some united front with other parents. They cannot punish every single student, after all. It's not your son's fault you can't buy him the uniform, so it's not his fault he's given detention or suspended. Your daughter was rude to a teacher, so it's not the same thing. That said, I think it's a bad idea. You need to ask the school if there is any financial assistance available because you really cannot afford a whole new uniform. If there is nothing they can do for you, then enroll your son in another school, or a remote learning program. You're eventually going to have to do that anyway, if he's permanently suspended for not wearing the uniform, so you might as well just start out with it. A 16-year-old with a half sleeve? That's kinda mad. Not the asshole. I would complain about the uniform issue to the governors, peeve asshole, council etc. I don't think it's fair to make you have to buy a whole new uniform set for 1 year. When the school I taught at changed uniform, we allowed year 10 and 11 to keep using the old style unless they chose to buy needed new ones anyway. AITA. My brother's ex is having another baby. I'm not planning to be her aunt. My brother has 3 children, 12F, 11M, 8F, with his ex. We love being a part of their lives. They're great kids. We, my sister, my second brother, and I, are very active in their lives, gifts, taking them out, calling, etc. They've been separated for 2 years, but the divorce became final this year. She's now pregnant, not by my brother, and I'm not planning to engage the child at all. Background. I don't live near my family, but typically visit a couple times a year. Since the separation, 2 years, I have had little to no contact with my nibbling's mom. Mainly because she was young and angry and would change her number out of spite or ignore our family. She has also done some spiteful things to my brother during the divorce, but I won't go into it here. Therefore, if I wanted any updates on my nibblings, I've grown accustomed to simply talking to my brother about them. When I'm home and I want to see them, I talk to my brother and he picks them up from their mom and I spend time with them at his house or pick them up from there. Basically, this takes any drama out of the process and I don't have to deal with anyone's anger. My oldest niece also has a cell phone, so I can call her directly. My sister on the other hand is more of a people pleaser and she doesn't mind walking around all the minefields and communicating with their mom directly. This means she arranges pickups and sleepovers with her directly. My sister also lives locally, so she sees them wayy more often than I do. Issue. We recently found out through my niece, their mom did not tell us, that her mom is pregnant again. I was not happy about this for a few reasons. 1. She already struggles with the 3 kids she has, both financially and mentally. My family has offered to help, but again, the bitterness doesn't foster this kind of support. 2. My niece has told us that her mom has made comments around being happy to have a new baby and starting over, which has made her feel unloved. And 3. I understand the father of the new child has other children that he does not take care of. I've also heard that baby mama number 1 has attacked my brother's ex for being involved with him. That's a lot of drama around that I don't plan on welcoming in my life. But the simple truth is, I don't consider this new child my niece and I have zero desire to be a part of her life. I, of course, believe in basic kindness. I wouldn't ignore the child if I saw her or throw a birthday party for my niece and not invite her. But I have no intentions of taking on any kind of role in her life. My sister thinks AITA for saying that. She said, what if I pick up the kids to go get ice cream? I told her I'd be picking them up from my brother's house so that child would never know. She thinks we, me and second brother, should plan to take an aunt and uncle role in the new child's life. I told her that child will have her own family from both mother and father. Am I the asshole for setting a clear boundary in advance? I personally think it'll be a boundary that's never spoken, since I don't talk to the mom. Not the asshole. This child is not related to you. You don't owe either of them anything. Not the asshole. Why are your siblings confused? The new baby is your brother's ex and her new baby daddy. No connection to you other than the baby may interact with your nieces and nephews. I highly doubt the kid would ever go to your brother's house since he's not the dad, so you won't have to see the kid. Not the asshole. You're not related to this child, and you're right, you probably won't see them anyway. You're not planning on being cruel or mean, you just won't be involved. Not the asshole. The fact is this kid is not biologically or otherwise your niece, nephew. Your sister can take on whatever role she feels comfortable with, but she is out of line for trying to push it on others. That said, do as you said you would and be civil to this kid and don't make them feel out of place when family gatherings call for their presence. Not the asshole. This child is not your niece. If your sister wants to be involved, so be it. However, she needs to mind her own business regarding your involvement. Not the asshole. I mean, it's not the kid's fault, but the kid is also not your family. It might be different if your brother was staying married to her. You don't owe this child anything, but you and your sister are just spinning your wheels, drama fantasizing on hypothetical situations that haven't happened yet. Just deal with it when it happens. Not the asshole. Just keep doing what you are doing and communicate everything directly through your brother.